All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our first official Ignite Spark Talk, our topic discussion. Today's discussion is, are TV commercials still relevant today? If they are, what is it we expect them to provide for us?
I will start. Sure. No, I really don't think so. I don't even use TV. The time I really only use TV is when I go to my dad's house. And we'll watch like MASH or something. And then I'll go to my mom's house and watch the Hallmark Channel. But even if we do, we kind of like start talking in the middle of the commercials. So I don't really pay attention to them. And then when I do, for some reason, it always has to deal with like Medicare or Medicaid. But yeah, that's my answer.
I agree with Josh. Nowadays, less people is watching TV. A lot of people have streaming, so it's a very expensive way to do advertising for the amount of people that is looking at. So it's better to find the niche and then advertise based on that niche.
I think.
There you go.
Jim Brown. And so I think TV commercials can be relevant. It's all about content, like anything in life it's about what the storyline is. I think the hokey ones, and not Virginia Tech hokey, just the hokey ones with price points and all that are irrelevant. I think they insult our intelligence now because you go right on the company's website and do research. If the content's done well, not lazy, if they tell us who they are in the community, we go back to the Better Business Seal, how that's done on every, if you're a member of a chamber of commerce or Rotary, put it at the bottom of the ad and connect yourself to us as a consumer so we know who you are. And that adds credibility and differentiates you. I think there are great advertising agencies out there and there's some really bad ones. The lazy ones are doing the same old, same old.
Barry said it well. I think commercials are important as long as the content is there. And it's important to the growth of the brand. So through TV, they can reach a wider variety of people. If the timing is right, they can get the people interested in the product, especially if they're showing them how to use it. It's one of those products. I think daytime commercials are probably a little bit more relevant than the night.
TV to me is good in some situations. I believe TV can be effective when you hear the repetition and you get that image in your mind. Of course, as we all know, we hear commercials over and over. So repetition is an issue that I think is important. The other thing is, and Barry summed it up pretty well, is, the testimonials. So someone we may know in the community or well thought of some person that we know in the community. I think it brings things together. Oh, so-and-so has recognized that this is a good product or service. I think it would be something I would be interested in. So the trust, just like BBB, would be a connecting issue.
Okay, I think yes, commercials are relevant, because, the commercials do show I'm gonna take this for example, a lot of medication on commercial TV. So they are out there, they're giving you a little bit of information about the medicine that you're taking. They do give you the side effects, so it gives you the opportunity to decide, when you go to the doctor, yes, I prefer to take this medicine, or no, I don't want to take this medicine. You get to hear the side effects about it. So that's a good commercial. And sometimes, you got commercials you have catchy tunes that would make you go listen to that commercial over and over and over again. I'll give example of the Final Four, and they're doing Ease on Road. That song, that they had, my niece and nephew loved it and had to Google it, and then they was singing it. So, it makes you wanna, you looked at the commercial and and when the commercial came on, they want to hear the song. I wanted to click it, but they wanted to hear the song, even though they didn't before, but anyway, but it's a catchy tune. So, yes.
So I think it's kind of a mixed boat for me. I think a lot of times, even when I do watch regular TV, I have a DVR, so I'll pause it so I can fast forward through commercials. I wait till a commercial to go and put the baby in the bed, or, wait for a commercial to go make something in the kitchen. But like Debbie said, those jingles or those tunes, even my 11-month-old will whip his head when, Joel Bieber comes on. So those songs are catchy, those tunes, those jingles, they do stick in your head, and that can make it to where sometime where you wouldn't necessarily think of a company, that pitch will catch you, so. But as far as the main bulk of it, no, there's so many opportunities to get around commercials nowadays that people take with streaming, like Olga said, and then, DVR, all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. TV commercials, everything has evolved. They used to be the cachet in branding and marketing. You still get brand recognition. People sort of understand what your brand does and where you go. I think today you have to have a whole marketing campaign, digital and all of that to support your TV advertising. There are select events, Final Four, Super Bowl. Look at the Super Bowl. They have hundreds of people analyzing the commercials. They get an increased audience just to watch the commercials on the Super Bowl. There. It just sort of gives you a credibility, and it gives you reach, and it helps support your brand. Your challenge as a marketer is, as everyone in the room is saying, people now go to streaming services. There's no commercials, or they DVR and there's no commercials. So that's why I always say it should be part of a whole comprehensive plan.
Perfect. My follow-up question for you all is, what's the last successful commercial you saw? What made it successful to you? What are some techniques they used? And no, the Super Bowl does not count. That's already a given audience, one that was actually successful on its own.
I think during the Final Four, the girls' basketball, I think those were, pretty interesting for me. With Caitlin, yeah, I just enjoyed watching the people on the commercial during that time. That's like the last commercials that I actually watched during the Final Four.
Well, I will have to go to the Super Bowl, but they did play it afterwards significantly more. And it was Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Tom Brady. Being from Boston and understanding that you don't get many bigger stars than that. And so the fact that they were very self-deprecating and, they played into the fun aspect of the Dunkin' brand. So even though it debuted on the Super Bowl, it was running all through New England after the Super Bowl.
Geico is still doing commercials, I'm pretty sure. Geico and Progressive are usually the two that I remember, just because they're on all the time, like you said, Willie, repetition. So I don't think you could ever really go through a break without seeing one of those two.
I think the comedic part of commercials catches my attention. So many commercials are bland, and one of the commercials, the Dunkin' Donut commercial, I thought was hilarious. I remembered that. And the ones that I don't remember are the 20 pharmaceutical drugs they put out. And I don't even know what they're for. And if I hear another one, I might say something bad. But the point being that the comedic part of a commercial kind of brings things full circle. So if you can add that, I think it would be helpful. There are so many commercials, it's hard to keep up with. So you need something to stand out, something that says, oh, did you see this? And friends of mine will say, you need to see that. It's a funny commercial. And it kind of comes back. We remember.
Do you think because TV, like the main form of TV is entertainment, so if you see a commercial catering towards entertainment, being funny, that like amplifies like the views or like the recognition?
Yes.
Yeah.
I always think bouncing off that and with yours, the one with, the two guys from Scrubs and Jason Momoa singing about home internet from T-Mobile. You know, that's just, again, it's the catchy tune that gets you and the, you know, eye candy helps.
I think there's a distinct difference, national ads, national products, have a different budget, have different advertising companies. And local is really the people that are really trying to connect. The national brand, they have a supermarket or they have doctors prescribing, and all that, but the local folks that are still going to TV, I wonder if they're really connecting with the consumer. Because those are the ones that are using the old agencies and still doing the same old thing. And I think you separate in the auto industry, probably 40% of the advertising market comes from auto industry, local. And home improvement and all lawyers, ambulance chasers, whatever you want to call them. But I think when you look at a Joel Bieber commercial with the dog and Bunky in it, makes a difference. Ron Cody at Richmond Ford. So what comes to my mind are those two local commercials, Richmond Ford and Joel Bieber. Allen and Allen come close, but they keep doing the same kind of thing, which you get repetition, showing the partners. Is that really, I don't know if it's connecting anymore, but they're doing well. So they must know what they're doing. But I really think it's for you to remember a spot, it has to be genuine. Ron Cody is genuine. He's not an actor. He is actually selling his brand and giving you his personal commitment. And the difference, he's in the ad, he's in the stores. You can see him. Some of the people are going in the ad, but you'll never find them. So they're really fraudulently saying, come see me. They're never doing. Again, going back to the logos and who they belong to, if they won an award, the blue oval with Ford, that should be front and center at the bottom of their ad. Anything that makes them stand out versus the competition.
You all know I love silence. All right, I'll cut you some slack this time. How should these companies budget in TV commercial marketing? And to follow up with that, how is it comparing to regular advertising channels?
I'll start off with that because I used to spend $1 million a year in the auto industry, and now I'm here, and now I know our products at BBB, things that I was shown when I was at the car dealership level, being an accredited business, but I never listened, because we do everything. There are some things that Jen and I just heard a pitch today, $24,000 for an entire year will get a company, local company noticed more, and probably 20 times that amount of money on local TV. So there's so many things because it's SEO, it's top of mind, top of brand awareness popping up for Google search and stuff, but not in Google where it's crowded and expensive, at BBB where it's less expensive because we're a nonprofit and we don't sell data. So people are coming here to our site and are being held close to the vest. We're not sharing the info. Where the other companies, they sell data.
I think your advertising budget is obviously gonna depend on, are you trying to do national campaign? Are you trying to use a big time agency, or are you gonna be on the local, Xfinity can get you on a Richmond market and this other market. And a lot of those commercials look like they're done, as Barry commented in there. Yet if you want to truly make an impact, you hire the Martin Agency right here in Richmond, and they do phenomenal work, and they have for decades, and they will get you national exposure. The question is, how much you're gonna have in your budget to do that, because it'll cost you millions.
Yeah, I think the question is how much you have in your budget for advertising. And then once you know your budget for advertising, you say, where will I get the most customer with this little budget because really a lot of the customer accredited business, they are, medium size. So the budget for advertising is very low generally, or they are counting on mouth to mouth. But one happy customer only tell 2 people. One unhappy customer tell 10. So word of mouth is not that good. After all, if you want to really reach the people.
Well, I was talking to a wedding vendor who I was trying to get to become pregnant. And she stated that the lady had been going to the wedding events, trying to get people to perform, get her weddings at her venue. As I explained to her, $5.50 for advertisement, small little fee compared to she keeps going to these events. They gotta learn how to trust her first to know whether they don't have events there. So I tried to tell her, you join, start to trust. People are gonna look at you and join, then you can go in and you can join, you go to those events and get people to come to your vendor to have weddings. But they gotta learn because people get ripped off so many, so you gotta learn, you gotta put that trust on there. So, she doesn't wanna do it. She wants to keep going to this name, but she won't do it. So I'm call her back. But I'm just, letting you know, that was a small amount of fee compared to you keep going to these wedding things, just to try to get people to have a wedding.
I'd say it's a good strategy, just doing the same thing if it does work, but. Over time, I think it is good to definitely try something new, getting other stuff in your budget, going away from TV, working towards social media. Working towards like website ads, things like that, but I like that, just seeing over time, letting them know is like, you'll probably keep it churning, but not as well as it could be. There are better ways, and I think it's also just the fear of also trying something new. So just to not be afraid, just kind of going forward and just being like, the worst that can happen is it won't happen. I go back to the same thing. Or there's another thing that pops up and then you try that, see what happens.
I think and Evie and I know this, and Joe's in the room. And Evie and I talked about this at Wendy there, I did. There's so many different organizations. So the person you're talking about is going to different organizations, but in that room, a lot of those people are not their target market, but they believe they're working because they're going to these things over and over and over, versus finding a place that does it right. And not because Joe is in this room, but Wimby, the one thing that I enjoy about it, I'm not looking to join any groups, but Wimby fits because of your social media. After you do the event, your group feed it out there. Synapse does it. 211 does it. Pretty much every other group, not so much. Everybody really try to sell something. Where those other groups like yours, if people are telling stories and if you get to trust the people, get a relationship with them, so that's better than a TV ad. Or you have a TV ad talking about where you go as a company, where you spend your time and money. I go to this event, organization for a reason. This is why. Versus going to nonprofit events where you get dressed up in a costume and tuxedo, you spend $500 on your clothes, you get a babysitter, you're out. Meanwhile, that money could have gone to the nonprofit. And could that nonprofit have done better work by going with a bigger nonprofit than that small nonprofit? Because we have a lot of problems pressing right now.
The other challenge with the marketing budget, and as Barry knows, is usually a CFO, a CEO somewhere, and they're looking at the marketing team. When the marketing team goes to the CFO, yeah, I need $1 million to do a commercial, and the CFO just immediately says, how many new customers? Instantly. and they're judging you. So a lot of times your marketing, your TV commercials, you try to be very safe because you're so focused on delivering results. And then you think you have this amount of money to spend, and all of a sudden the CFO goes, oh, we're having a tough quarter, we're cutting your budget by 25%. So now you start, dumbing down your reach and dumbing down your content and dumbing down, and it becomes a challenge. I know, I've been there.
That's dominated all this time, but there's a great point. You spend the money on TV. We've talked about it here as a team, so we can help our ABs, our accredited businesses that trust us, that they get accredited. So you spend all that money, that CFO, right, $1 million. Well, how many are gonna sell? Well, the TV people, the selling of the stuff, and the radio people, but they forget to tell you, they don't sell anything. They're just a marketing tool, an advertising tool to generate prospects. So then, what is the process? So you gotta reverse it. What's the process? That's where at the BBB, we start with trust. We get it out on the table as an accredited business. So it rewinds all the way back to the prospects coming in to know how many your closing ratio is. Closing ratios do not come from TV ads or radio ads. And that's the CFO mentality, CEO mentality they don't understand. And the reps just take the money and will do anything. Oh, we got a great rep. They give you all these stats. They're meaningless. How good is your sales team or your service team? And what do? Well, what's the process? That's where sales come. That's where connections are made.
That's why a small company, a medium-sized company, the best way to get trust out there is with a Better Business Bureau accreditation, because you are for sure at least 1.5 million people going to see it. And the people that go to see it because they're looking to buy. They're not just, oh, looking TV. No, they're looking to buy. And then if they take the time not to only be accredited, but once they are accredited, check their page, make sure the logo shows there, make sure they have a promotion showing in the BBB page, they will make it bloom, So I think that the $550 for under 50 employees is a very good budget.
It always comes back to trust, a couple people mentioned it earlier. Trust. There are so many people out there that offer you something on the internet and they don't deliver.
So we look at data analytics a lot. And one of the issues with television is that there really isn't data analytics because you can't measure that turnover or the leads that you get from TV the same way that you do from social media. So why wouldn't a company nowadays, instead of creating a television ad and buying space on TV here, they support a local influencer who has a YouTube channel or posts on Instagram and TikTok where they put TV ads now. Why wouldn't they do that?
Well, some of them are old and they are not up to date. That's how the people are seeing the new market. And even old people are, well, I'm talking about my sister, she's older than me. She go there and check how many likes are there, how many reviews. So the people, well, that's a good thing about American people, that you always keep moving with the changes. So a lot of people are changing, but some owners that are at the top are not familiar with that. And the young generation haven't explained it to them well. So that's why they don't put the budget in. They just need social media, needs a way to connect with older fellows so they know that's the way to go.
So how do we connect with an older audience in social media?
Well,
I got my grandma on YouTube.
being that, well, you might, but I don't have my mother on anything. she won't nothing, she won't do a little bit of, you know, but as far as, texting and stuff, but as far as he can't get her to go online, pay a bill. I mean, unless she say, can you do it? But she's not gonna do it. As far as TikTok and, all of that, is that, what you hear about TikTok and what you hear about social media. Social media can destroy your company if need be, because if you go out there on social media and keep putting all these bad reviews on there and bad reviews, it will eventually start affecting your business. So I think my mother, as being 86, 87, is not gonna do it. She just don't wanna do it. She just think that at her age, she don't need to be out there doing any type of social media stuff, talking to people or looking at advertisement, because as she tell me, I have lived my life. There's nothing out there that I really want. And that's what she tells me. She said, I'm just gonna post it on me. So, and exactly what she does. She posts it on me. She, you know, she just don't, you know, but she's a news person now. But, as far as anything on social media, she's not gonna do it. I'm of age, not old age, but I don't get into social media either. I don't get into TikTok, I don't get into Facebook, I mean, I know a little bit about Facebook, but I just don't get into it. I sometimes believe that it's just too much artificial stuff out there. You don't know exactly what to believe, so, that's why eventually I think maybe the older crowd of maybe my age, I don't know, maybe don't go into social media. You just don't know what to believe.
I think a good way to get the older generation connected to social media is through the younger generation. Having your grandkids, I mean, or your children showing you things and showing you how relevant it can be. Cause they're the ones that know the up-to-date influencers and all that stuff. And I think when you can educate them, they can pass that along in kind of a reverse, you know?
I think there's a lot of data out there that shows which social media platform, you know, relates to by age group. Facebook is definitely for us baby boomers. Baby boomers dominate Facebook. Ads are very, very, very effective. The younger generation, Instagram got really big, but TikTok has knocked it off. TikTok is by far and away number one with millennials and Gen Z, younger than millennials, right? Everything, TikTok is by far the fastest growing social media trend for young people. So I think if you're gonna have your strategy, you have to have some people that understand social media and say this age group, the boomers love Facebook. They post pictures of their grandchildren. They watch pictures of their grandchildren. They do all of that. They post pictures saying, yeah, I'm spending my grandchildren's inheritance as they're going away, right? So, you know, you can get an older population through Facebook, and Facebook is trying to bring the age down. In there, but each social media platform, there are a lot of studies out there that will very quickly tell you who the audience is.
One thing I was gonna add, and I don't do Facebook, but the media I trust is LinkedIn. And the reason I trust LinkedIn is because it's a business professional network. And when you start talking about professional business owners, other workers in other professions, they're very careful about what they post because it will impact them a lot. So in regards to trusting social media, I'll look to LinkedIn because I'm not talking about my daughter or my son. I'm talking about something that's really important to me. To me is having a professional image. And if you've got something that's not up to speed, people who are in business and professionals, they pick up on it real quick. So be really, really careful about what you do in LinkedIn. And I will get an invite on LinkedIn. So-and-so sent you an invite, oh, congratulations on your new position. I really don't go into a lot of detail. You really have to, be selective on what you're saying.
So to get the older generation, involved in social media, I have an 86-year-old mother-in-law, okay? And every time you tell her something, it's like, the minute you leave, she forgets. Now, the grandkids do help, but I think with older people, they need to be in groups and they need constant repetition so that they can sink in that this is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, because I feel like they feel like after a while, this is a fad, it's gonna go away. But no, social media is evolving. So they need groups for older senior citizens that they can go to on a daily basis, just saying. I just don't see them sticking with it if it's not something that they were accustomed to begin with. They definitely need extra help. And again, the repetition. And I like what you said about the platforms. That's definitely something that, you know, you can look into, which platform caters to what age group. But they do need to be in an environment where they can learn together for a period of time.
But they need someone there to help them.
Out of mind, out of sight. Sometimes
Constantly all the time, because if you have no one there, that doesn't live close by you or are able to come and help you with things, young generations or mid-age generations who are doing it. But as far as I see, whenever I'm dealing with anyone who is at an elder stage, they seem to care not to worry about Facebook. They really don't care. That it's just that I talked to my mom and, you know, I said, oh, you see, you know, the kids on Facebook. Oh, the kids on Facebook? Okay. And that's it. But I have to show her when I come in, here are the kids that were on Facebook. She's not gonna go on Facebook because she don't know exactly what to do on Facebook. Facebook, you can go into something else and click on something, you got it on this and you got it on that. She really doesn't know unless someone goes in and show her how to do it on Facebook. So it is a certain age that we talk in, because as you get older, your mobility and brain cells are not clicking as fast as they used to do. So, I think at a certain age group, yeah, but social media, yeah, but I'm not sure about, as they get of age, maybe it could be, you know,
Could it depend on the product or the service you're selling too?
It could be, you know, I'm not a Facebook person. I feel that I have time to do other things, so I get on Facebook and look. When I'm good, because I'm the BBB and see like that, you know, certain things I will go on to and look at Facebook, but as to me, as I say to myself, do I really have time to go on Facebook, sit in here and look at and go through ads for Facebook? Now, as far as somebody telling me something, I wouldn't know if so-and-so was on Facebook unless they say, hey, Debbie, so-and-so is on Facebook, go and look. I just don't go on Facebook. I mean, I just don't. However, I would sit down there and you was talking about commercial. Now, I might sit down and look at a commercial, it's got a catchy tune to it, just because I want to hear the catchy tune. But I don't know. I mean, it's just my generation, I guess, my age, which I'm in 60, so, I just don't know. Mr. Moore, he likes to go, he likes to go, he is 60. He might like to go on Facebook, and I guess it depends on what you're looking for, you know, but I go in, if I'm looking for something, and I will go with bbb.org and look it up and see what these companies is all about, and then determine whether I want to use them or not. And if they do come up with reviews, I do read reviews. I kind of want to judge, because some people would leave a review and said, my box came torn. Well, there ain't nothing we gotta do with the product. So that's a review I would knock out, or, a review that, so one might say, I got it, and I open up the box and a piece was missing. Well, that got something to do with the review. How many times somebody's opened a box and this piece is missing? Those things are, I do look at a little bit to determine whether I'm going to use that, company or not. But yeah, but I'm a type of person, I just don't go on social media. That's just not my thing.
I think it's been a great conversation. Thank you. I mean, we're gonna post it up on our Facebook page and LinkedIn
And you
to
too.
share it, and our followers, and I just want to say this, so you could wrap it up, but our followers now can be anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. This podcast can go out, if you want to call it a podcast or conversation with the video. We're gonna post it on YouTube. So I think we're gonna have a bigger reach, and I hope people take the time to respond in comments. Tell us what you think. If you're in Kansas City and you see this, tell us what you think about TV advertising. We're gonna have a lot of topics coming up. I'll let you wrap it up.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and everyone for participating in the conversation. Make sure to follow us on Ignite Spark by BBB Central Virginia on Facebook and Instagram, and follow BBB Serving Central Virginia on YouTube, where I'll post the full video, and of course, our Spotify BBB Sharing, where you can hear the audio recording of the session. Thank you.